Welcome back everybody into another daily recap. Today is Friday the 12th of August, and as you can see on the screen we are watching at gold doing in New York of this Friday with the full New York session. As you can see, I already had charted up some supply and demand areas. As I was telling yesterday, I am in a transition phase, in transition between being a quick scalper in and out of the market, 10, 15, 20 pips, and looking at much bigger and much more interesting operations and trades and movements. So that's why you're starting to see that I am looking into demand and supply zones. And what I found out in backtesting and what I'm studying is that when the supply zone is the right one, is the proper one, the price just goes. If you remember, I was talking about the fact that when the price is at a supply, you see like here you buy, here you're not looking for sells, not even for scalps. I was talking about not even for scalps, you look for sells, because these buys are coming from such a demand area that you should be looking for pullback buys, pullback buys, pullback buys, pullback buys, up until the very next supply area where you see the rejection and you start to look for here pullback sells, pullback, pullback sells, pullback sells, pullback sells, pullback sells, until you reach the demand area and vice versa. But what I'm doing is that I tend to micromanage too much. I'm too emotional with it, and that was causing some issues. So I'm starting to look just at like 2-3 trades per day, even by my back testing at a relevant supply and demand areas. So today I started to chart up, okay, this demand area, where I can hypothetically, if I was already trading this setup, place buy limit, and add supply, sell limit, sell limit, sell limit. That's why you also see there's the position over there. So something that I want to understand is, okay, I found out that most of the times it goes to the top of the supply and vice versa, to the top of the demand, to the bottom of the demand. So possibly placing the supply in the middle, it's a good idea. If sometimes it's just a level, just a single level, then it might be good to place slightly below or slightly above. For example, here with the demand so small, I would not place the buy limit in the middle. Here it is in the middle. It's actually on the top of the first one. I should actually place it a couple of pips above, and because the demand area is small, it's not 30 pips like here. Since the supply can be anywhere from here till there, placing it in the middle covers enough range, and we're going to see it today from this price action. As you can see, started with the trade idea of this first supply, which is the small one in the middle, 1794, 1793, and as you can see, this would been activated and would have resulted in a loss. As you can see, price tried to reject, but today is a Friday and was not that much strong volume. But anyway, this is at 20 pips. I will also as well try to figure out if with small supply demand areas can be good to just take 15 pips, because if it's not going in the right direction immediately, maybe it's not going, or if it's not going in the right direction but is then rejecting here, if it starts to make new higher lows, then I don't know if taking those extra 5 pips is relevant. It does affect anything anyway, in any way the win rate. This is a loss. So the very next one, the very next price action is this one, 1797, 1798. This one was sort of as well backtesting, trying to understand if, okay, price reacted at 1795 key level. So is this a double top? Looks like not. You see that the price action is not strong, and also because this one can be, this is all just studying, looking at the markets and trying to understand what is happening. And this a supply area that turned demand. You see that the price, even if we can go here on the 1 minute, you can see that the price retested these previous highs after making a double top. Here, I mean, I will not, unless, and we're going to maybe talk about this demand area, unless I enter there, I'm not really looking to enter here because we're at supply, and I'm not even seeing a strong pullback at exactly this level for price to continue bullish, like it will happen afterwards. And even if it happens, maybe it's making a double bottom, lower low at supply to continue in continuation down. So I want to buy at demand and sell at supply. So here the price was starting to make new higher lows, and is this a supply turn demand? I don't know. I don't see any particular entry for buys at such a strong supply, and with the other supply so close. This is a 40 pips, but you never know where the price will react. Anyway, I was also looking at this, but it doesn't make sense. And there you go. This is the first, this one is the trade idea that has been here since the start of pre-New York even. The backtesting is to understand which supply is going to be respected. So that's also why this loss, the first loss, has to be taken, because price can easily bounce from there and go down. And what you are not taking because you only had the sell limit over there doesn't make sense. Even here, wants to go to there, you took 20, 40 pips loss, and then you take a full 60 pips or even more, full 60 pips win, if this is the relevant supply area. And there you go. As you can see, sell gets activated. As I told you, where most often than not, the price will reach the top of the supply. So this trade can easily be placed even higher. The news brought liquidity and then went to your TP. As you can see here, this was like from here is like a 50 pips, 58. If the sell limit was in the middle, this one would have been a full 60 pips trade. So you take this 20 and you take this 20. So you have minus 20 and plus 60. So it's still 40 pips of profit. And that's why what I'm backtesting is also, okay, can I avoid this loss because it's just a minor supply, or is this, what are the reasons why this is a much bigger supply than this one? So I'm going to test it. And as you can see, price created a new demand, and I thought I saved it, but apparently I did not. Yeah, no, I did not, unless I put it over there. No. Okay. And of course at 10 a.m. there was the Michigan consumer sentiment, and that's what brought short-term positivity on the US dollar. But after a pullback, went just to 60, 70 pips and then found its way back up at this PSA area, found the right demand, and then even this supply, of course, has never shown its power as a supply, just as a minor interference, but not even much. And price then created new higher lows, broke and retested the previous highs, and then continued making new higher highs and higher lows. And then now breaking the 1800 after making these new highs. So also there was a trade idea, a sell limit in the middle of here, and that might even be the case of, let's see if it gets activated, but it's very late. It's late for being a Friday. So what I wanted to talk about is also this demand, which for me, of course, it was a PPL, but for me, I had this demand, these lower lows. As you can see, this one could have been my demand. In the same, if the same idea that this was my supply, possibly, because this is the last low. The fact that on the left I didn't find anything relevant, but anyway, you see that pre-New York and New York Open respected this, and a buy limit in the middle would have given very, very good results. I'm not 100% sure if this is actually a relevant demand area for the 1 minute. I'm not talking about a relevant on the 15, but as you can see, it was these previous lows, even on the 15, this lower wick that got respected. As you can see, the supply most often than not, it's on the 1 minute is getting respected at the top. So in this case, it would be at the top of the area instead of, and the bottom instead of in the middle or the first stop. You see here, even here it's in this case no, it's respecting both, but this one is respecting the top. Let's see if we have anything else. Here goes in the middle. This is a very small supply, and as you can see here, goes to retest the PPL before going back up. Here the PPL is holding before pushing up. So this demand, and we're going to see, I don't know now, here on the 15, let's see if now we reached the top. We don't know if it's going to reach, because this looks like an overextension. I don't know where the price will react. If maybe it's here, I don't even know the PPLs. As you can see, reacted to the PPL. So if you adjust here, you can even take the full, with 20 pips, you are covering the full supply area, and this can be your trade on the downside, especially if it was a high volume time. But I mean, the volume is kicking in. I don't know if there was any news. 40 pips in a few minutes for this time, it's good. Of course, now the price can go down, but of course it's late. So I have to adjust, I have to understand better when to use exactly PPLs, how to adapt them, which one can be relevant, which one is too far away. But anyway, as per my trade ideas that you can see here at the start, that would have been a profitable day. One loss, one win, is the risk to reward is 3-1, so it's 40 pips profit. But I didn't take it because I'm not confident yet. I'm still studying these ideas, and we're going to see here if we place the sell limit a few pips below the PPL, maybe it will even reach the middle of the area. But this is it, guys, for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you on Monday.